Hi everyone, welcome to my channel Bibbity Bobbity Books. My name is Ellie and today I'm going to be talking to you about some new book releases that are coming out next month. So today I have a list of 6 books to talk to you about, all of which have caught my attention and all of which are coming out next month in June. Of course, this isn't an exhaustive list of all of the books that are coming out next month, but these are just the ones that have particularly caught my attention for one reason or another, and I thought it'd be fun to share them with you in case you're looking to treat yourself next month, if you're looking for a new summer read, and if you have similar tastes to me, then perhaps you might find this an interesting list. So yeah, we've got 6 books to talk through. Most of them are fantasy, although there is, I think, a horror on there and a sci-fi. So yeah, without further ado, let's hop straight in with the first book. So the first book that I'm really excited that is coming out in June is Shanghai Immortal, written by A.Y. Chao. If you see me glancing down, it's because I've got my laptop here with all the information on. But yeah, this one is coming out on the 1st of June, so very soon, and it looks like such a fun fantasy story. I love the cover, it's so bright and colourful, and yeah, this is a debut adult fantasy, and it says on Goodreads that it's a debut that teams with Chinese deities and demons cavorting in Jazz Age Shanghai. How fun does that sound? I love the fact that this is set in Jazz Age Shanghai. I think that's going to be a really interesting setting, and yeah, it just sounds like a really fun story. I'm going to just give you a quick read of the synopsis. So it says, pawned by her mother to the king of hell as a child, Lady Jing is half vampire, half fox spirit, and all sasshole. As the king's ward, she has spent the last 90 years running errands, dodging the taunts of the spiteful Heljing courtiers, and trying to control her explosive temper with varying levels of success. So when Jing overhears the courtiers plotting to steal a priceless dragon pearl from the king, she seizes the chance to expose them once and for all. With the help of a gentle mortal tasked with setting up the central bank of hell, Jing embarks on a wild chase for intel, first through hell and then through mortal Shanghai. But when her hijinks put the mortal in danger, she must decide which is more important, avenging her loss of face or letting go of her half-empty approach to life for a chance to experience tenderness and maybe even love. So yeah, I just think that sounds like such a fun premise. I like the fact that it's got a little bit of a romance in there, and yeah, I'm just very interested by that one. Next up, on the 5th of June, we have Hearts Forged in Dragonfire, written by Hollis. Again, this one has a fantastic cover that definitely drew me in, and anything that has dragon in the title as well I'm gonna pick up because I'm a big fan of dragon stories. So yeah, I think this one sounds really good. It says on Goodreads that it's for fans of Abigail Owen and Samantha Shannon, and it's a breathtaking, energetic novel where the only way to defeat a dragon is to outsmart it. So that sounds really fun. Again, I'm just going to read you from the blurb because that's obviously going to explain it better than me because I haven't read it yet because it's new. But yeah, it says on the blurb, most dragon tongues don't live long enough to learn from their mistakes. Lottie Mere is luckier than most, surviving long enough to communicate with the fierce, sullen and temperamental dragons who are not above enjoying a human as a light snack. And she has the scars to prove it. Now a massive foul-tempered dragon has taken over the town of Morwassen's Pass, taking the citizens hostage. As long as they bring him their gold and treasure, he won't reduce their city to a smoking heap of ash and death. Only the treasure is running out, and Lottie, with the help of sharp-tongued, unbelievably cute Maurice Basfan, is their last and only hope. But this dragon is more cunning and more cruel than any other. Not only is he holding Lottie's estranged mum captive, but he has a taste for betrayal, and somehow he's stricken some kind of secret deal with the girl who has already gone and stolen Lottie's heart. Lottie won't fail, she can't. So yeah, again, I think that sounds like a really fun fantasy story. I like anything that has a evil conniving dragon in it, and yeah, I'm just looking forward to that one. Next up, we have a little bit of a strange one. So this one comes out on the 6th of June and it's called The Grimoire of Grave Fates. So I was first drawn in by, again, the cover of this one. It's so cool, and I also just think this one sounds like a really interesting concept because as far as I'm aware, I think this is a kind of like an anthology of short stories, and it all takes place in this fantasy world. It also sounds like there's a little bit of a mystery element to it, and it just sounds really unique. So it says on Goodreads, crack open your spellbook and enter the world of the illustrious Galileo Academy for the Extraordinary. There's been a murder on campus and it's up to the students of Galileo to solve it. Follow 18 authors and 18 students as they puzzle out the clues and find the guilty party. So yeah, it sounds like there are 18 authors, each has written a different short story, presumably from the perspective of a different student, and all of these different students are trying to solve this mystery of the murder that happened on campus, so they're all connected somehow. I don't know, I just thought that sounds like a really unique and interesting premise, and I don't think I've read anything like that before, so yeah, I'm very, very intrigued by that one. Next up, on the 13th of June, we have a sci-fi, and this one looks like a really fun sci-fi. I am quite a fan of light and I want to say fuzzy sci-fi. I do also enjoy really intense science fiction as well, but I quite like it when you have something that's a little bit more silly, and this one definitely looks like it's going to fit the bill. So this one is called On Earth as It Is on Television, and it's written by Emily Jane. So yeah, again, a nice bold, fun cover on this one, and it says on the back, on the blurb, the arrival of spaceships can bring up a lot of big questions. What does it mean that we're not alone? Why did aliens come here? Who knew beforehand? Where are the aliens going? Wait, they can't just leave without inviting us to their galactic federation, or at least obliterating us. Emily Jane's debut is a rollicking exploration into what it means to be alive in the 21st century. The fleeting presence of alien vessels and the certainty that humans are not alone in the universe sparks intense uncertainty as to our place within it. Blaine has always been content to go along with whatever his supermom wife and television-addicted half-feral children want. But when the kids blithely ponder skinning people to see if they're aliens, and his wife announces a surprise road trip to Disney World, even steady Blaine begins to crack. Half a continent away, Heather, bored in a Malibu pool while the ships hover overhead, watches as the arrival heralds the demise of her dead-end relationship and sets her on a quest to understand herself, her accomplished and oh so annoying stepfamily, and why she feels so alone in a universe teeming with life. And Oliver, suddenly conscious and alert after 20 catatonic years, struggles to piece together broken memories and understand why he's following a strange cat on the westward journey and into the greatest adventure of his or anyone's lifetime. How fun does that sound? I love the fact that we've got 3 different perspectives in this book, and it sounds like they're all quite fun and interesting perspectives to explore, and I don't know, you can just tell from that blurb that it's very tongue-in-cheek and it's going to be a good time. So yeah, I'm excited for that. Next up, on the 13th of June, we have a science fantasy called The Surviving Sky, written by Kritika H. So this is a book that actually made it onto my most anticipated releases of the year list because I think this one looks so interesting. So yeah, this is a Hindu and philosophy inspired adult debut science fantasy, and it follows a husband and wife racing to save their living city and their troubled marriage. High above a jungle world besieged by cataclysmic storms. So I think what drew me into this one is the fact that it is a Hindu and philosophy inspired fantasy. I don't think I've read any fantasy that's inspired by those things, so that really, really interests me. But also the world building, because it sounds really interesting. You have this kind of floating world that seems to be ravaged by these storms. I don't know, it just sounds like a really interesting setting, but I'm just going to read you a little bit more from the synopsis so that you can understand the plot a little bit more. So it says, high above a jungle planet float the last refugees of humanity, plant-made civilizations held together by tradition, technology and arcane science. In these living cities, architects are revered above anyone else. If not for their ability to psychically manipulate the architecture, the cities would plunge into devastating earth rage storms below. Charismatic, powerful, mystical Irivan is one of such architect. In his city, his word is nearly law. His abilities are his identity, but to Ahilia, his wife, they are a way for survival to be reliant on the privileged few. Like most others, she cannot manipulate the plants, and she desperately seeks change. Their marriage is already thorny. Then Iravan is accused of pushing his abilities to forbidden limits. He needs his wife to help clear his name. She needs him to tip the balance of rule in their society. As their paths become increasingly intertwined, deadly truths emerge, challenging everything each of them believes. And as the earth rages become longer and their floating city begins to plummet, Irivan and Ahilia's discoveries might destroy their marriage, their culture, and their entire civilization. How epic does that sound? I love the idea that architects are really revered in this world and that they create these living cities and they can manipulate the plants. I don't know, I just think that one sounds like it's going to be so good. And then the final book that I have on this list is actually a young adult book, and it's a horror mystery story. This one comes out on the 20th of June and it's called Where Echoes Die, written by Courtney Gould. So yeah, there was just something about the plot or the synopsis for this one that really caught my attention. I do enjoy a horror story. I haven't read too much YA horror. I tend to read adult horror, so I don't know how intense this is going to be. I don't know if I'm going to vibe with it because obviously it's for a slightly younger audience, but yeah, I'm just quite intrigued by this one. So again, I'm just going to read you from the synopsis. So it says, Beck Bershing has been adrift since the death of her mother, a brilliant but troubled investigative reporter. She finds herself unable to stop herself from slipping into memories of happier days, clamouring for a time when things were normal. So, when a mysterious letter in her mother's handwriting arrives in the mail with the words "Come and find me," pointing to a town called Backravel, Beck hopes that this may hold the answers. But when Beck and her sister Riley arrive in Backravel, Arizona, it's clear that there is something off about the town. There are no cars, no cemeteries, no churches. The town is a mix of dilapidated military structures and new shiny buildings, all overseen by the town's gleaming treatment centre high on a plateau. No one seems to remember when they got there, and the only people who seem to know more than they're letting on is the town's enigmatic leader and his daughter Avery. As the sisters search for answers about their mother, Beck and Avery become more drawn together, and their unexpected connection brings up emotions Beck has buried since her mother's death. Beck is desperate to hold on to the way things used to be, and when she starts losing herself in Backravel and its connection to her mother, will there be a way for Beck to pull herself out? In her sophomore novel, Courtney Gould draws readers into the haunting town of Backravel and explores grief, the weight of not letting go of the past, first love, and the bonds between sisters, mothers, and daughters. So yeah, I think I was just really intrigued by this one because it feels like it's tackling or taking on quite a lot of quite intense themes. You know, obviously the main theme being grief because our main character has lost her mother, but also it talks about first love and bonds between sisters and daughters. And I don't know, the mystery is just really intriguing. I want to know what's going on in this weird town and why it's so strange and why there's just this new treatment centre and everything else is kind of missing. I don't know, I'm just really intrigued by this one. So yeah, there we have it. There are 6 books that are all coming out next month in June. I think they all sound like they're going to be really fun. Please let me know if you're interested in any of these, if you're thinking of picking any of them up after watching this video, or let me know if there's any that you would particularly like me to read, if you're interested to hear my opinions, because any excuse for me to buy new books and I'm going to jump at it. So yeah, I'd love to have a chat with you down below in the comment section. Don't forget to like this video if you enjoyed it, and do subscribe if you want to see some more from me, and I guess I'll see you next time with another video. Bye!